Hey everyone, I'm Mike from theparkprodigy.com, and on today's video we're going to break down over 75 of the best Universal Orlando tips and tricks for 2025. And of course 2025 is a huge year over at Universal Orlando as we have the brand new opening of Epic Universe, a amazing theme park that's coming to Orlando. So there's going to be a lot of changes in the new year, which is exactly why we're creating this video, to get you as prepared as possible for your next Universal Orlando trip. So if you are in the process of planning a Universal Orlando vacation and you want to see Epic Universe, just be sure to stick around until the end of this video. As always, I'm very excited, so let's go get started. Thank you again so much for checking out this video. Like I said, I am about to break down over 75 of our favorite tips and tricks for visiting Universal Orlando. And I personally have never done a video this long, but we decided to go all out for the opening of Epic Universe. And you're going to see I pretty much have over 25 of Epic Universe tips and tricks scattered throughout this video. A lot of it is going to be at the end. So like I said, just be sure to stick around till the end. But we're not going to waste any time. Let's jump right in and get started with tip and trick number one. Always make sure that you do your research before you buy your tickets or your vacation package. Like I said, though, that is going to be very, very important in 2025. Just because of the way that Universal Orlando has rolled out the Epic Universe tickets. We do have a lot new ticket options for families, and specifically the Epic Universe tickets at this point in time only include a multi-day ticket, only includes 1 day admission to Epic Universe. So it is so very, very important to understand the different ticket options and how they work. So over to the next tip and trick, just understand, like I said, that there are going to be changes. Now, when we're talking about some of the things that you have to keep an eye out for, specifically in my mind, where we're seeing confusion is that 3-park ticket. It's important to keep in mind that at this point in time, Universal Orlando does have 4 amazing theme parks. Epic Universe is opening up on May 22nd, 2025. So you do have to make sure you're visiting after May 22nd to take advantage of Epic Universe. But there's going to be 4 theme parks. So what that means is a 3-park ticket in 2024 is Universal Studios Florida, Islands of Adventure, and Volcano Bay. But a 3-park ticket in your mind in 2025 could be those same 3 parks, or it could be Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure, and Epic Universe. But when you're shopping, though, you'll see a 3-park ticket on our website is still including Volcano Bay. Epic Universe would really be Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios Florida, plus 1 day at Epic. So it's still a 2-park plus 1 day at Epic, if that makes sense. Do your research. If you need help, just be sure to go check out theparkprodigy.com. But just be sure to keep an eye on the moving parts. Over to the next tip and trick, of course, is that park-to-park ticket. Guests do know that you do need the park-to-park ticket in order to ride the very, very popular Hogwarts Express over at Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure. But it's important to note in 2025, when Epic Universe opens up, the park-to-park option does not give you the availability or the option to go park-to-park into Epic Universe. It is a completely separate day. You have to visit Epic Universe on its own, or if you do want to go park-to-park, you will be able to go to the other Universal Orlando parks. It does not include Epic Universe. It's something very, very important. Okay, over to my next tip and trick. Now, we discussed tickets a little bit. Make sure that you purchase your tickets in advance. If you've been watching my channel, this has been one of my favorite tips and tricks. I say it over and over and over again. Not only will you save money by purchasing your tickets in advance, but I think the most important thing, in my honest opinion, is you will save time. You will not have to show up to the parks, have to figure out which tickets you want to buy, and then, of course, wait online to actually go buy those tickets, then get into the park. You pretty much can just show up, grab your tickets, and go about your day, which I think is so very, very important, especially when you're trying to get everything done in the theme parks. Over to the next tip and trick, and this is really for my guests purchasing that Universal Express Pass, which we will probably talk about it a bunch of times in this video, but it's always going to be cheaper to buy the Express Pass as far out in the future as you possibly can. So as soon as you know you're going to Universal Orlando and you know you want the Universal Express Pass, go and purchase it, because it's always going to be the cheapest as further out as you go. As you get closer to your trip, the Universal Express Pass prices will go up, and they typically will start to sell out, especially during those busier times of year. Now, speaking of the busier times of year, there is a strategy, of course, to planning your vacation during the slower times of year. So historically, the slowest times at Universal Orlando have typically been September, October, January, February, early November, and then May. Now, of course, 2025 is going to be so very, very important. The next tip and trick would be, if you're trying to avoid crowds, avoid May of 2025, and I would even say all of June of 2025, because May 22nd, like I said, is when Epic Universe is opening up. So as you can imagine, the crowds will be coming in to check out the brand new park, and it probably will be pretty consistent, but there still will be those slow times. I would say if you're trying to go to Epic and you want the slowest time of year, visit in September of 2025. Okay, but what about the slowest days? Historically, what have the slowest days at Universal Orlando been? And what we have seen is they're typically always weekdays. So during the week, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Thursday have historically been the slowest times to visit the Universal Orlando parks. And then over to the next really important one, and I would say be familiar with the park hours at Universal Orlando. And this is especially true for families who might be, Disney experts and you go to Walt Disney World all the time. The park hours are completely different at Universal Orlando. And what I mean by that is, especially during those slower times of year, the parks are going to close a little bit earlier for theme park standards. So what we'll see is during some of the slower times, the parks might close at 7 o'clock at night, which, when you consider it over at Disney, a lot of their parks will close at either 8, 9, or Magic Kingdom will stay open till 11. Now, during the busier times of year, Universal Studios Florida and Islands of Adventure might stay open till 10 o'clock at night. Still not going to be as late over at Disney. But keep in mind, though, can get a lot done at Universal Orlando in a short amount of time. So it typically is not a huge deal. Just from a planning standpoint, it is important. Now, the other thing that we do see from time to time are staggered closes. And what I mean by that is Universal Studios Florida will typically close about an hour earlier than Islands of Adventure. And this is also true for the very, very popular Halloween Horror Nights, where Universal Studios Florida will actually close at 5 o'clock on nights that they have their Halloween event. And it's important, as you plan, you might want to get that park-to-park ticket so you can hop over to Islands of Adventure and take advantage of the extra hours, because that park will be open a little bit later. And of course, it is going to be interesting to see what Universal Orlando does with the Epic Universe hours. All right, but sticking with Epic Universe, moving over to hotels, there actually are going to be 3 brand new hotels at Universal Orlando in 2025. So they're going to be Universal Stella Nova, Universal Terra Luna, and then we have the Grand Helios Hotel. Those are 3 new ones, and that actually brings our total up to 11 official Universal Orlando hotels. One of the reasons why we talk about the official hotels so much is because from our experience, one of the easiest ways to save money is to book an official Universal Orlando vacation package, which can save you up to 30% a lot of times. Universal will run promotions constantly. It's going to be interesting with Epic Universe, of course, but I still think they're going to want to entice guests to visit, especially later in the year. So be sure to keep an eye, as that typically is going to be the easiest way to save those big amounts, right? Where Universal will release promotions where it could be 20%, 25%. Like I said, up to 30%. And one of the other tips and tricks that I personally love just from helping families is booking an official Universal Orlando vacation package also allows you to pay over time as long as your check-in is more than 45 days away. So you can book your official vacation package for as little as $50 per person down. And then, of course, you can make payments and you could pay your plan over time, which I know is really, really important because the cost of these vacations, of course, is significant. And having that payment plan option is, it helps. And moving over to the next tip and trick is some of the hotels that we personally have been seeing some great promotions. And so keep an eye on as we get into the new year are going to be Cabana Bay Beach Resort, Lowe's Sapphire Falls, and then Lowe's Royal Pacific. And we're actually building out a brand new page on the Park Prodigy where it's going to be last minute deals because we are seeing some really, really amazing rates. Okay, over to the next one, and be sure that you understand how early park admission works. And of course, if you're trying to take advantage of it, use it the right way. So what I mean by that is early park admission allows guests access to certain rides, and with most of the really, really popular ones being within the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Now, typically Universal Orlando has only had one of the parks open with Volcano Bay, and we have seen Islands of Adventure really be the most popular park for early park admission. The way that we recommend to use it, when I say make sure you take advantage of it the right way, is I always recommend and suggest that you arrive an hour before early park admission starts. So if early park admission is at 8 a.m., I always suggest to get there at 7 a.m. You will wait an hour to get into the park. However, from our experience, you will get onto Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure probably within the first 15 to 20 minutes if you do that. Then from there, you can hop over to Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, or you can go to the Velocicoaster, then go to Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. But we just did a video on this, and we pretty much were able to get onto two of the most popular rides using early park admission with this strategy within the first 35 minutes of the day. Those rides later on in the day had wait times of well over an hour and a half. It really does pay to take advantage of early park admission and to take advantage of it the right way. And over to the next tip and trick, an Epic Universe one, and Universal has confirmed that early park admission will be available at Epic Universe when it does open in later 2025. So again, it's important to plan around this, to understand how it works, and if you need more information on how to get early park admission to take full advantage of your next Universal Orlando vacation, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. You can send me an email, mike@theparkprodigy.com, or just give us a call at the office. Okay, over to the next tip and trick that we love to give our clients, and that is make sure you come up with a list of your must-do rides and create a park plan. Also, we'll do this for you if you do book through us over at the Park Prodigy, but this can help you really be as efficient as possible, minimizing, walking around, not knowing which ride to go on next. You just want to always have a plan going into your day, and also make sure I would measure your kids so you know exactly which rides they can get on and you can plan around that. Another really, really important one, always be sure to check a week or two before your trip to see if there's potential ride refurbishments. Now, typically we will see this during some of the slower seasons, but you never know. Just be sure once you create that park plan, once you create your must-do rides, always double check and make sure that the rides are not down for refurbishments. Over to the next one, plan to ride the outdoor rides in the morning. And this is especially true if you haven't been to Florida. It does rain down here a lot. And what this will allow you to do is you could pretty much make sure you get those outdoor rides out of the way earlier in the morning when it's less likely to rain, as opposed to in the afternoon when it's, it's going to rain, especially if you're visiting in the summer. In Florida, it almost always rains in the summer in the afternoons, not for a very long time, typically like 20-30 minutes. But by getting the rides out of the way in the morning, you pretty much can then, if it does rain, you can go on a lot of the indoor rides later in the day. Now, the only caveat to this is I would say if you're going on the water rides over at Islands of Adventure, I typically like to go on them as late in the evening as possible, right before you go back to your hotel, especially if you're riding Dudley Do rides, Ripshore Falls, because you will get soaked. I don't like to walk around the theme parks wet. So in this case, especially if you're visiting in the summer and it's warmer out at night, you can go on the rides later at night, and then you can go back to your hotel to change and relax. Okay, but outside of the water rides, over to the next one, for the most popular rides and for the must-do rides on your list, I always recommend to just get them out of the way as early as possible. And you'll see, it is pros and cons, right? You never know what will happen during the day, right? Family vacations, any vacation, there can be unexpected speed bumps, stuff like that just pop up. The rides can go down. There could be technical issues. There's weather that we have to take into account. My honest opinion is always just try to get the rides out of the way as early as possible, and then your day will go that much smoother. Another important one, we quickly touched base on this, but the Universal Express Pass. If you are trying to get through all of the rides as quickly as possible, if you're the type of person you just don't like waiting on lines, it is called the Universal Express Pass, and it is essentially a premium product. It will allow you to go skip the lines on your favorite Universal Orlando rides. There's actually only 2 rides at this point in time that are not included with the Universal Express Pass, with the main one being Hagrid's Magical Creatures, Motorbike Adventure. And of course, Universal actually has not released the Universal Express Pass for Epic Universe just yet, so we will be creating a lot more similar videos just like this to get guests as prepared once that information does come out. Long story short, the Universal Express Pass is an amazing way to skip the lines. It is extremely expensive though, I will say that, but it actually does do what they market it to do, and it really will help you. You will not wait online. Or if you do, you will wait maybe 5 minutes. It really is that good at getting you onto the rides as quickly as possible. If you are thinking about purchasing the Express Pass, be sure to go check out the Universal Express Pass combo tickets, which we do have those on theparkprodigy.com. But another important tip and trick for 2025 is we did mention, right, there are 3 new Universal Orlando hotels. There are still only 3 previous Universal Orlando hotels, which do give you the 2-park free Express Pass. So those hotels are going to be the Hard Rock Hotel, Lowe's Portofino Bay Resort, and Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort. Nothing has changed. There's only 3 hotels that give you the free Universal Express Pass, even with the brand new Signature Hotel, which is Grand Helios, opening at Epic Universe. It does not give you the free Universal Express Pass at this point in time anyway, so it's important to keep that in mind. Nothing has really changed from the 3 hotels that do give you the free 2 park Express Pass. That's also important. It's only for the original 2 parks, Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida. It does not include Volcano Bay or Epic Universe. Okay, over to the next one, kind of sticking with the Express Pass, and I would say make sure that you prioritize how you use the Express Pass. And what I mean by that is, again, if you're visiting there for early park admission, you don't want to use the Express Pass earlier in the morning, especially if you have the Express Pass that only allows you to get on the ride one time. You want to kind of strategize, and when the crowds are lowest, hey, maybe it's a 5-minute wait, just walk onto the ride so you don't have to use your, one time. The unlimited Express Pass is completely different, but I guess where I'm really going with this is come up with your strategy even if you have the Express Pass, because like I said, not all of the rides, there's 2 rides, with Hagrid's being the most important that's not included. You really want to team the Express Pass up with early park admission to get through everything as quickly as possible. Okay, so back over to Hagrid's though, like I said, if you can't take advantage of early park admission, pros and cons. On the flip side, I believe that the best time to go and ride Hagrid's Magical Creatures for the lowest wait time is going to be later at night. So Universal Orlando will actually allow you to get onto line right up until park close. So if park closes at 7 o'clock, you can actually go and get on that line at 6:55. By doing this, you can also try to take advantage of shorter wait times, and it's another great tip and trick. Sticking with Harry Potter for a little bit, of course, I mentioned this, but just be sure to understand that you do have to upgrade to that park-to-park ticket in order to get the full-blown immersive Harry Potter experience, and that's because you do need that ticket in order to ride the Hogwarts Express, which is the very, very popular train ride. And of course, another thing to keep in mind is we do have a brand new Wizarding World of Harry Potter land coming within Epic Universe. It is going to be the Ministry of Magic, but this does change everything, right? If you're a family and you are really just going to Universal Orlando for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, you're now going from maybe you can get it all done within one day to now, just even because of the way the tickets are sold, you can't do that anymore. You need at least 2 days to experience everything the Wizarding World Harry Potter has to offer. So the Epic Universe does change so much from that perspective as well. But some of the other important tips and tricks to keep in mind that we love about Harry Potter is, don't forget that you can upgrade your experience and you can purchase an interactive wand to cast spells throughout the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. It is going to be going on over at Epic Universe as well. And then, of course, one of the best treats within the park are going to be the butterbeer options. So guests can try a variety of different butterbeers, from frozen butterbeer, hot butterbeer, ice cream butterbeer, fudge butterbeer. There's a cream dessert butterbeer. There are so many different types, and the hype is real. They really are that good. We pretty much, me and my girlfriend, almost always get a butterbeer when we go to Universal Orlando. And then one of the other great tips and tricks to take advantage of getting a, let's say, free butterbeer is if you go to any of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter restaurants for breakfast and you get a breakfast platter, you essentially do get a small free butterbeer with that. Now, sticking with the breakfast over at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, there is an upgraded Wizarding World of Harry Potter vacation package that Universal Orlando does sell. With this package, you kind of do get these meal vouchers that you can go and use them for breakfast at either the 3 Broomsticks, the Leaky Cauldron, and brand new for 2025 when Epic Universe does open up. They now have included Café de la Serene. I definitely butchered that, but I'm doing my best with the French. To take advantage of that. So definitely be sure to keep an eye on that. But also, some of the other important things within the Wizarding World is be sure that you keep an eye on the street shows and entertainment, because there are a lot of pop-up shows within the Wizarding World that just do such a great job of making you feel like you are in the middle of the magic, and you don't want to miss them, especially if you have Harry Potter fans in your family. One of the ways to make sure that you don't miss them is to have the official Universal Orlando app, and you want to make sure that you download the official Universal Orlando app before you get down to Orlando, just to make sure that your vacation is going to run that much smoother. Some of the other updates that Universal released in 2024 that we love are going to be that they now have filters that essentially allow guests to say, well, hey, okay, I want to see all of the rides that are kid friendly, that are 3D, that are thrilling, that are relaxing. I want to check out the water rides. There's a lot more filtering and functionality within the Universal Orlando app. So if you used it in the past and you weren't really that impressed with it, they do have a lot of new changes that you will find very, very helpful. And of course, the Universal Orlando app does have the wait times throughout the day. So you do want to be sure to have it. It kind of ties into that park plan that we discussed to make sure that you are operating as efficiently as possible. And I know it's weird for me to even talk like that about theme park vacations, right? Because it's of course a lot of fun, but one of the things that we love to do is break it down and really just make sure that you're getting the most out of it. And when you're spending that money, you want to make sure that you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. Okay, but sticking with the app for another one, guests can also sign up for the Universal Pay, which will allow you to essentially link your credit card and then pay for things throughout the park, very similar to Apple Pay, but it's really, really simple and convenient. And of course, some of the things that you might end up paying for are going to be food, snacks, stuff like that throughout the park. Another important one, make sure that you research menus and prices in advance. This will not only help you to budget, but also just from a food standpoint, you want to make sure that you dine at the restaurants that you have your heart set on, that you're going to be interested in the food the most. And another important update is that guests can now make their Universal Orlando dining reservations on the official Universal Orlando website, which is something so very, very new. In the past, we would either do it through Resi or we would do it through Open Table for our clients, but you can now do it through the official Universal Orlando website. If you're trying to save and you're trying to go to Universal on a budget, one of my favorite things to do is to bring snacks and refillable water bottles to the park to save money. Now, Universal will allow guests to bring small, non-refrigerated snacks and beverages, and this can add up and save a tremendous amount of money. I personally will bring snacks. I'll bring breakfast items in the morning, granola bars, little cereal bags, and then we'll bring snack items like chips, pretzels, stuff like that to snack on during the day. Another tip and trick that I personally love to do when staying at the official Universal Orlando hotels, and that is I will get groceries delivered to our hotel. So I personally use Instacart. And like I said, I'll order a bunch of different, just really non-refrigerated food items that I can kind of bring into the park throughout the day. The other important thing to keep in mind is you do have to meet the Instacart driver. So you cannot get groceries delivered to the front desk of your Universal Orlando hotel. You do have to meet them, but this can be a great way to save some money. Okay, over to the next one. Might not be a great way to save money, but definitely a great way to save some time. And I would say utilize mobile ordering on the Universal Orlando app when you can. Now, this essentially allows you to pre-order your meals and pick them up at the designated windows. We have had some, I guess rocky experiences is the best way to put it. I've had some amazing experiences where everything goes seamless, but I have had some experiences doing this myself at the parks where it hasn't been the best, where the food didn't come out as quickly as possible. There was some confusion. What I would say is most people still use it. Most people still want to use it because I think the pros outweigh the cons. You can save some time, so just keep that in mind. Another great one is eat at off-peak times to avoid those lunch and dinner rushes. For you want to make sure you get a table and just you can kind of relax while you eat your meals. Over to the next one to save some money, and that is be sure to keep an eye out for the Coke Freestyle Cup for unlimited refills throughout your day. So this can be a cost-effective option, especially for guests who like to drink soda. But it's called soda where I'm from, up in New York, but pop wherever. I think some of the other ones, Coke. People call all sodas Coke. I don't want to get into a history lesson right now. Keep an eye on the Coke Freestyle Cup. And the last time I checked, it's about $18.99, I believe, and that's for your trip. And like I said, you'll get free refills in the parks throughout your vacation. Universal also has a resort cup if you're staying at an official Universal Orlando hotel that you can buy for around $10.99 to take advantage of free refills over at your hotel. Another great one that we love is keep an eye out on special merchandise promotions throughout the park. In the past, we've seen if you purchase a $300 or a $500 Universal Orlando merchandise gift card, you can get a free interactive wand. And I think I'm almost definitely halfway through with this video. I just wanted to take a second to say thank you all again so much for checking this video out. I know this is a long one. This is actually my favorite video to do all year. We always start the video off with a really, really big tips and tricks video. If you are in the process of planning that Universal Orlando trip, and it does seem like you need more videos like this, just be sure to hit that subscribe button as I have a lot more similar content coming out in the coming weeks to get you as prepared as possible. But let's jump right back in. Another really important one for guests who are new to the theme parks is try not to bring a lot into the park if you can avoid it. If you can avoid bringing a backpack, especially if you're trying to take advantage of early park admission. And the reason being is some of the rides will make you put your bags into lockers. Specifically, Hagrid's Magical Creatures will make you do this. So it can slow you up a little bit. It's not a huge deal. If you want to bring your backpack, go for it. But just keep that in mind that it can slow you up. Another important one, when you're thinking about what are you bringing, make sure that you wear comfortable shoes and clothing. And the weather in Florida a majority of the year, I would say March, through end of October is going to be really, really humid and it's going to be hot. So plan accordingly. You want to be comfortable. You don't want to overheat. On the flip side, once you hit November, really, like I said, through February, it can be chilly. I mean, the time of the recording of this video, it's December 21st, and it is high of 60 today in Florida. And then next week on Christmas Day, it's going to be high of 77. It's kind of all over the place. So just make sure that you do your research, pack accordingly so you don't have to buy sweatshirts, stuff like that once you get down here to Florida. Also, bring anything that you think you would need in a theme park to save money, bring it from home. So pack ponchos, waterproof shoes, extra socks, portable phone chargers, sunscreen, hats, sunglasses, anything you think you would need down here in Florida. Try to bring it from home so you can avoid buying it once you get down here to the theme parks. Another really, really important one is to be sure that you stay hydrated throughout the day, tying into everything else. And another thing that we actually didn't touch base on that we actually do really, really enjoy for a lot of our clients, they get some great use out of it, is Universal Orlando does have a photo pass. So you can essentially take advantage of all the different iconic landmarks and photo opportunities throughout your Universal Orlando vacation. And another thing that ties into the Universal Vacation Package is they do have an official transportation option add-on for guests to pretty much pick you up at the airport, take you to your official Universal Orlando hotel, and then also they'll take you from your Universal Orlando hotel back to the airport when it's time to go home. Another really cool thing that we are seeing for 2025 is Universal just released a brand new transportation option to get you from your hotel over to the cruise terminal over at Port Canaveral. Of course, cruises are so very, very popular. We help a lot of clients, a lot of families who are specifically going to Port Canaveral for either a 3 or 4 day Disney cruise, Royal Caribbean cruise, whatever it might be. And then they come back to Orlando to hit the theme parks and have some more fun back here. So I think for those families who of course, today's day and age with Lyft and Uber, stuff like that, there are so many transportation options, but some families are just like, no, I only trust Universal Orlando. I want the official transportation option. And we're happy that we do have a couple more options for you. All right, some of our other favorite things and favorite tips and tricks to talk about. Don't forget that Universal Orlando does have specific events going on throughout the year. So starting the year off, we do have Universal Mardi Gras, which is going to be early February, right around till the end of April, early May. This event is going to be, of course, they have a ton of food booths. They have a Mardi Gras float. One of our favorite tips and tricks is you can take advantage or try to get onto the Mardi Gras floats. It's actually typically done through a virtual queue on the Universal Orlando app. So keep an eye out on that if you want to give your family a really, really special experience. There's also a dining promotion where you can pretty much book a dining reservation and you're kind of guaranteed to get onto one of the Universal Mardi Gras floats. So be sure to keep an eye out on that. And then another great way to save money is Universal in the past has typically released a dining card, which is essentially, think about it like if you buy a $150 dining card, you get $175 worth of food at the Mardi Gras food booth. So be sure to keep your eye on that if you are trying to save some money. Over to another very, very popular event. Of course, that's going to be Christmas in the parks. So Christmas typically will start at the end of November and run through December 31st. And they do have a ton of Christmas trees, Christmas decorations. Some of the most popular things going on are going to be the Macy's Parade over in Universal Studios Florida. There's also snow in Universal Studios Florida. Take advantage of those extra, there's nothing like snow in Florida. And then over to Islands of Adventure, we do have Grinchmas. One of the most popular ones is going to be to meet the Grinch. We actually just did a video on if the Grinch character breakfast is worth it or not. So definitely be sure to go check that out. But there's just so much fun stuff going on for Christmas in the theme parks. Over to the last event, which is probably the most popular one. And we do have Halloween Horror Nights, which is their so very, very popular Halloween events where guests can come and take advantage of some of the most amazing haunted houses that you will ever see. So every year, Universal Orlando will release 10 new haunted houses. They do an amazing job each and every year. And what I would say to this, the biggest tip and trick here is if you are the type of family where you're thinking about going for that premium experience, if you're not sure where to do your VIP tour, my honest opinion has always been to do it at Halloween Horror Nights. It is called the RIP tour, and you will pretty much be escorted to the front of all those very long haunted house lines. I don't think you can go wrong with this experience. Over to some of the next tips and tricks, and we are jumping in finally to Epic Universe. Okay, so jumping right in, and like I said, it's important to keep in mind there are specific ticket types now, and most of the multi-day tickets are only including 1 day at Epic Universe. So you need to be sure to plan accordingly. And like you can imagine, if you only have 1 day to enjoy Epic Universe, being sure that you have a game plan, arriving early to make sure that you have enough time to get onto everything is going to be so very, very important. So we do have 5 new lands in Celestial Park, Super Nintendo World, The Wizarding World of Harry Potter, Ministry of Magic, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, and we have Dark Universe. And so, as you can see, there's going to be something for everything. Another great thing that I really do love is I do think there is going to be a lot more for young kids to enjoy and to do here at Epic Universe with, of course, Super Nintendo World. And now we also have How to Train Your Dragon. Not saying the other things won't be kids friendly, but those are really the two for me that kind of stick out, that just give a lot more stuff for kids to do. And of course, they can use their interactive wand within the Ministry of Magic, the new Harry Potter land. But be sure that you have a game plan. Take advantage of early park admission once Universal Orlando releases it. I can't guarantee it's going to be every day, but if you can get into this park an hour early, I would do it. I don't see any benefit to not taking advantage of every single hour if you only have a day to go on all of these rides. Another tip and trick is Universal's not selling 1 day tickets, like I said, but they are available for Universal annual pass holders. So what I have seen some guests do is they're buying the seasonal passes, which are going to be a little under $400 the last time I checked. And yeah, it does seem like a lot, but it's kind of okay. You're going to spend a little bit more, but you might get 2 days out of Epic Universe instead of buying 2 3-day tickets, if that makes sense. So there are certain ways to game the system. And of course, another tip is just keep an eye out when Universal will release more information. We don't have 1 day tickets for Epic Universe yet, but Universal has said they will release them at some point in time. We don't have the Express Pass prices for Epic Universe, or even how the Express Pass will work for Epic Universe, but Universal has said they will release them before Epic Universe opens. So just be sure to keep an eye out on all the latest breaking news, and that's really why it's so very, very important to subscribe to the Park Prodigy. And that's why it's so very, very important to subscribe to the Park Prodigy YouTube channel. All right, but enough plug-in. Let's jump over to the next tip and trick. And again, we've spoken of Super Nintendo World, but it is so very, very important. If you visited Super Nintendo World in Hollywood, Universal Hollywood, this one is going to be really different. So this one's going to be bigger, and this one is going to have a Donkey Kong land as well. And it's one of the reasons why I think it's going to be so very, very popular for kids. Another great thing that kids will be able to do, if you want to upgrade, you can upgrade and you can get a power-up band where you'll essentially be able to run around Super Nintendo World and complete different levels and games and unlock the next level, which is you pretty much try to work your way all the way up to Bowser's Challenge. And of course, all of this is going to be tracked on the official Universal Orlando app. You can see everything's tying together, right? Jumping over to the Ministry of Magic, which is the brand new land within Epic Universe. Keep an eye out on this land is going to have 2 new restaurants. So if you're not that into Harry Potter, but you're kind of like a foodie, this might really be the perfect place for you. Keep your eye out on the brand new Ministry of Magic. And of course, we are getting a brand new ride in the Battle of the Ministry, which I am really, really excited for as well. From a hotel standpoint, again, there are 3 brand new hotels which are going to be located near Epic Universe. Those hotels are going to be Stella Nova, Terra Luna, and Universal Helios Grand Hotel. Now, Helios Grand Hotel is actually connected to Epic Universe. So you will be able to enter this park from your hotel, and it will be one of the most popular Universal Orlando hotels for a very long time. So if you are in the process of planning that trip, be sure to just go check availability. You want to book this hotel as early as possible. I have been saying that. I know I've been saying it, but we haven't had a hotel like this at Universal Orlando. And one of the other important things to kind of consider when planning your 2025 Universe vacation is Epic Universe is not going to be right next to the other Universal Orlando theme parks. It is a separate campus, in that sense, where you will have to take a Universal Orlando shuttle bus from the original 8 Universal Orlando hotels over to Epic Universe. So you do have to be mindful of that as you're planning your days. It is going to be a little bit more, there is going to be a little bit more travel time that goes into your Universal vacation. Another important thing to keep in mind is that, and of course, with the brand new theme park, I already touched base on this, but be prepared for potential crowds later in 2025. Essentially, after May 22nd, 2025, we've never seen anything like this. We don't know if it's going to be crowded consistently from May all the way through Christmas. I'm hoping that we still will have a pullback in September when kids do go back to school, but we've never seen anything like this, so just be sure to do as much preparation as possible and keep in mind that it is going to be a little crazy, but of course the main point of having a family vacation is to enjoy yourself with the ones you love. Not to be corny or cliche, but it is going to be important because next year is going to be bananas. We don't know. We've never seen anything like this, but that's why videos like this are so very, very important. And I think that's all the time we have for today. But thank you all again so much for checking out this video. I really, really hope that you found this video helpful. I hope that you are as excited as possible for Universal Orlando and all the amazing new things coming to the parks in 2025. And if you are in the process of planning that Universal Orlando trip and you do need a little additional help, like I said, just be sure to go check out our website, theparkprodigy.com. As a thank you for sticking around all the way till the end of this video, I do have a special promo code you can go use on some discounted Universal Orlando tickets with that Epic Universe Day. And that promo code is going to be YouTube25 to save an extra $25 off. But I think that's all the time we have for today. Thank you all again so much. And until next time, I will talk to you soon.